Hi, this is Dan from PIKO America, and normally at a train show, you and I would probably have a conversation face to face. But since this is virtual, we wanted to say thanks to the folks and to all of you watching the virtual Rocky Mountain Train Show, and hope that we can do this live again in the future. So one of the things we would normally do is have lots of our newest items so that you could see them at the show. But you'll also probably find that many of these are already at your favorite PIKO retailer, so a lot of these you can see in person if you head to your favorite shop. We've got the Pennsylvania and the Denver Rio Grande Ore Car here. This year we decided to go ahead and put an ore car load into our ore cars, as well as our hopper cars. There's a coal load in them. The loads for all of these cars are lightweight and they are removable, and of course you've got older cars that we've done in the past. You can always add loads to those as well, because those are separately available. The Union Pacific coal car also has the wonderful American flag decorations that people really seem to love. You definitely want to see that in person. And then following up our mini train here is the Santa Fe Boxcar. Of course, our boxcar doors all have they all open and shut, and they can lock nicely into place, but there's great decorations here on a train. You can either put it all together or make your own with whatever we have from the entire PIKO catalog. And since one of the best things about a train show is that you get to see trains running, we wanted to make sure you got to see that today. So we've got a Denver Rio Grande Mogul here running on our mixed collection of stock that's new this month. So we're going to go ahead and turn the light on, ring the bell, toot toots of the horn, and we'll be off on our way.
And thanks, Dan, for getting us started with the G-Scale new products from PIKO. I'm Jonathan Metter, and we're going to talk a little more about those. And for you HO fans, we also have some cool new things for you as well, so stay tuned. But just a few highlights. There's a lot of items in the new items flyer, and we're bringing you over 70 new items for the year. But just a few little highlights that kind of strike my fancy. Some great new locomotives for you, and especially attractive is the Union Pacific Mogul. We actually hired a very well-respected artist to do a painting for the tender, featuring some art of the Union Pacific elk scene that is very reminiscent of original Union Pacific art from the 1800s. I think that's going to be one you want to see in person and have that running on your railroad. And of course the Warbirds hopper cars, celebrating the planes and the greatest generation that flew them back in World War II, are very popular, and we have 2 more cars in that series. These are the new R3 switches, and no major brand in G-Scale has made a medium-sized switch in G-Scale over the decades. So these are going to be available by the end of the year, and they are 6-foot diameter to match our R3 curves, and I think you're going to find that that's a perfect medium-sized switch. So I think those are going to do very well for lots of folks. And then a big highlight I know this year is going to be what's called the Glass Train, which is a train that ran in Germany. There were originally 2 of them. One of them was destroyed. One of them survived into later decades. And the digital version with sound will also include a digitally operated pantograph, raising and lowering. So some really cool features there. And I think the Railjet train is going to be very popular. That also is matching cars to go with the Railjet Taurus locomotive. Lots of cool new stuff coming this year, and get your hands on that catalog as soon as you can, and also check it out on our website. We appreciate you doing that. And for our HO fans, PIKO has some great stuff to offer for you. I would like to start off with our PIKO roadbed track. Reliably available. I think it's the best looking roadbed track on the market. It goes together nicely. It comes apart nicely and can be reconfigured however you want, and it's marvelously flexible. I love to do this. This is very cool. It'll go over any kind of little irregularities on the floor or on the tabletop. I think you'll find, if you give that a look, you'll find it to be a great track for you. And other things in PIKO HO and N-Scale, the PIKO Smart Control Lite digital system. Smart control light is very easy to use, has a nice digital display, 2¼ amps of power, so it's great for almost every layout except a really large layout. It can actually be expanded with boosters that are LocoNet enabled. It's a tethered system, but for most layouts it's perfectly fine, and I think that's also worth a look, and I think you might be pleased with that. What most folks are waiting for is some news from PIKO about American style trains. Just a moment though, we want to talk a little bit about the PIKO Hobby Line HO building kits. These are a bunch of great little kits, no more than $20 each. You can spend that on a fast food lunch today. They're very precise fitting. They go together. There's no fussing and filing as there is with so many kits. Give them a look. I think you'll be pleased. And finally, the thing that people have been waiting for is American rolling stock from PIKO in HO scale. And we're starting off with what's called the Sprinter. That's right here in Southern California. It connects with the Amtrak Surfliner and Metrolink and the Coaster services. And it's a diesel-powered commuter rail service. This is how the train looks. This is a typical German paint scheme, but we're making some modifications to the tooling with the big air conditioners, much bigger than these, that are needed here in Southern California. And our crews have been out doing recordings and photographic safaris to make sure we bring you the details of that train. It's got a lot of cool, authentic sounds that you're going to hear. There will be a non-decoder, decoder-ready version that's ready for DC. There will also be 2 road numbers in sound-equipped DCC decoder-equipped versions. And there are also 3 rail versions for those who want that. But most folks are going to go for the sound-equipped versions. And you'll be very pleased with the decoder. It's fully NMRA compliant. In fact, when the NMRA reviewed our PIKO 4.1 smart decoder, they even told us they were impressed. They said nobody passes on the first go around. This thing passed with flying colors. So it's fully NMRA compatible and has an NMRA compliance warrant. So if you're concerned about those things, is it really going to operate on my DCC system? Yes, it will, and it's going to bring you a ton of authentic sounds as well as the lighting features and a great running model. So that's coming late summer for fans of commuter rail service, and I think you'll be interested in that model. And we've also got a ton of interest so far in this little new Whitcomb diesel switcher. It's a 65-ton diesel that was built by Whitcomb during World War II, built in Illinois, shipped over to Europe for use by the U.S. Army Transportation Corps, and it was all over Europe. They served on the first train into Rome, first train into Paris, first train across the Rhine. So many important historic things, and after the war many of them stayed there and were involved in just rebuilding and stayed as reliable, good running locomotives. Many of them also came back to America after the war, and they were expected to be needed in Asia, but that was over before they could get them there. So they were sold off to short lines and industrial railroads all over the country. Keep you in suspense for now. Right now, the U.S. Army Transportation Corps version with the authentic European buffers and European couplers, that's what's coming first in late summer. It'll be in the U.S. Army's basic paint scheme, but there are plenty of PIKO European cars to build an authentic train. So if you're interested in the history or if you're into European trains, that's a great model for you. And other folks can look forward. We'd love to hear from you on your thoughts of what you would like to see. We've been amazed at the people who know about these locos and are real fanatics about, wow, that's just such a cool little loco. I love it. I want to have one for my railroad, even if I have to paint it myself. So give us some info. Let us have the feedback. We'd love to paint one up, maybe in a road that's of interest to you. But that'll be coming later this year. Thanks a lot.